Hey guys, Simon Drizzellian here, the voice of reason, storyteller extraordinaire. So we're going to carry on today. I'm staying off the controversial stuff for a moment, just see if we can, not get banned. A lot of people are very conscious of truth at the present time, but hopefully in the next couple of days things will change. So we left you with the mentor as part of the hero's journey. So now we get to what is called crossing the threshold. This is where the hero in our story has gone a little bit too far, and he can't really go back. We saw this in Lord of the Rings, even with with Sam Gamgee saying, one more step and I've gone further from my home than I ever have. And you see this also with Luke Skywalker in Star Wars as well. Also with Harry Potter. So the mentor gets you so far, and then says, "Hey, look, the rest of the journey is up to you. You got to do it yourself now." And that's where the hero starts to grow, because otherwise the mentor will just get everything done, and it will just be that whole sort of teacher-student relationship. But in nearly every story, the actual person that is being taught ends up being a teacher. So in this first part of the transformation in the story, when crossing the threshold, there is an immediate challenge. And that challenge really puts pressure on the hero in any story. They have almost the opportunity to go back, but not quite. It's like, yeah, this is what you're going to be in for now. So there is always those temptations. And it's the temptation to actually almost like go to the other side. We saw this in Lord of the Rings, where Frodo is almost like tempted to come to the dark side and become one of the Wraiths. We see that in Star Wars with Luke Skywalker trying to be recruited by the dark side. And we also see that in Harry Potter with Voldemort and all the dark forces trying to subdue Harry Potter and bring him over to the other side as well. So that's one of the biggest elements of story, is that the hero, his flaws are therefore shown to be what they are, and the temptation to exploit those flaws is always put out there by the darker side. So as they go through that story, then there are a number of tests, and those tests are designed to test the constitutional, fortitude, if you like, of the actual hero. And that's what gives us our first inkling into the fact that our flawed hero is absolutely not so flawed. And it gives us hope. And the whole point of that, when it comes to us relating to that story, is that we see no matter how far we were down when we started, there is always hope to be able to express yourself in such a manner that you rise to the occasion. And that's why it's called the hero's journey, So the hero, heroes are basically normal people being placed in abnormal situations. And in that abnormal situation, they rise. And and that's why heroism is the most rewarded element of any human action. We see that in war, but we also see that in peace as well. When we see valor and when we see heroism being exhibited, and it's normally a selfless act, at that stage we applaud it and we recognize it, and that is why the highest honors, whether it's the Medal of Honor, the Victoria Cross, the Croix de Guerre, all of these are given for one thing and for one thing only, and that is extreme valor in the face of almost unbeatable odds. And that's what we like about story. If it was easy, it wouldn't be worthwhile. How many sports films have you seen where the team comes back from the jaws of defeat to win within the last seconds? Those are the stories that we like, because it reflects how we see our life. Our life is full of challenge from the day that we were born, all the way through puberty, through our formative years where we start to find out who we actually are. And if you can get through that, then you got the teenage angst to go through, and then you got to cross the other threshold then into adulthood as well. All of these are incredible tests, and we see this outlined in our life. We see this outlined in nearly every story you've ever seen. So you've got to rise to those temptations, rise to those tests. And in doing so, you attract others to you. So the next part of this is the allies, and we see this again in all the films. So as soon as the tests start to be given to the hero, you normally find that allies, people that are aligned to his vision or her vision, values, identity, whatever. At that point, the allies come in. And that's what we'll talk about next time. So, look at your story, which tests and which temptations have you had? I certainly had this when I was going through Special Forces training. Temptation was always to quit. And we would always say, I'll quit tomorrow. I'll just quit tomorrow, yeah. And then tomorrow comes and you say the same thing. I'll just quit tomorrow. Fuck it, I'll just quit tomorrow. And as long as you keep saying that and you just keep getting from day to day to day to day, eventually the test runs out of days and you excel and you actually come above that test. And that's what, so the temptation has always got to be there for you to fail or for you to withdraw, but you never do. The hero never does that, and you should never do that, because at some point, it's the old thing about if you stand up one more time then you fall down. It frankly doesn't matter how many times you've fallen down. I've fallen down many, many times, I assure you, and I continue to stand up, and that is what the basis of heroism and your story is all about. So that's all I've got for you in this part. Tomorrow we'll be looking at allies and friends and things like that. So this is Simon Trezelyan. Please like and share if you feel this has value. I'm trying to get my people up again. As you know, we lost 27,000 people because they banned me because I was telling the truth. But I'll continue to tell the truth, and those who are aligned to what I'm saying will join anyway. So, Simon Trezelyan, I love you all. Take care. Bye-bye now.